An Introduction to Keyless Entry and Theft Deterrent Systems. This program will provide an overview of the keyless entry and theft deterrent systems on the SVX, the 1990-94 Legacy, the 1995-97 LSI, and the code alarm systems, which are used on the 1995 through 98 Legacy, the 1997 and 98 Impreza, and the 98 Forester. We'll also demonstrate the procedure for installing the systems on a 1997 Legacy. First, we'll look at the theft deterrent system on the SVX. All SVXs sold in the U.S. are equipped with a theft deterrent system installed at the port. The first version is SOA 386R120, designed for all-wheel drive SVX vehicles with a single airbag. It's a combination active and passive system. When the system is on and the doors and trunk are closed, the driver can actively lock the doors and arm the system by pressing the button on the remote transmitter. The security system also passively arms itself when it's on, 45 seconds after the driver exits from the vehicle and closes the doors and trunk lid. Note, the doors do not have to be locked. When the security system is off, the transmitter operates the keyless entry system only. The components include the theft deterrent control module located behind and above the glove box, and a starter interrupt relay mounted on the right of the steering column. One unique feature of the original SVX system is that the system is on when the security button is out and off when the button is pushed in. In 1992.5, the SVX theft deterrent system was revised to make the system more user-friendly. In the revised system, the passive arming feature is eliminated. The only way to arm the system is to press the button on the remote transmitters or lock the driver's door with a key or with the inside door lock. Customers whose SVXs had the original theft deterrent system were invited to have the system upgraded by the dealer. The upgraded system includes a control module and a security system switch. This control module has a permanent memory, so the system only needs to be reprogrammed for a new transmitter, not when the vehicle battery has been disconnected. To reprogram this system, turn the security system off. Put the key in the ignition switch and turn the ignition switch on, then off 2 times. Then immediately push the security switch on and off rapidly until the horn starts to beep. Slowly press the button 2 times on each transmitter. Pressing the transmitters 4 times fills up all 4 memory slots in the theft deterrent control module. The parking lights flash each time a transmitter button is pushed to indicate that the security system has recorded the transmitter frequency. Now, cycle the ignition switch on and off to exit from the programming mode. The new security system switch is a momentary contact type. It blinks when the system is on and is dark when the system is off. In 1994, a version of the SVX was introduced that was front-wheel drive. A different theft deterrent system was used on this vehicle. Front-wheel drive SVXs with a single airbag use the theft deterrent system SOA 386R121. In 1994, dual airbags became optional on the SVX. On these vehicles, the theft deterrent control module was moved to the underside of the rear shelf. The theft deterrent system for SVXs with dual airbags is SOA 386R122. Your video reference booklet contains a summary of the keyless entry and theft deterrent systems used on 1990 through 98 Subaru vehicles. It covers where the system is installed, the type of system, the system part number, whether it includes theft deterrent and/or keyless entry, and the type of memory it has. That is, whether the control module retains the transmitter frequencies in its memory when vehicle battery power is lost. Next, the 1990 to 94 Legacy. This vehicle has 3 levels of theft deterrent systems, all of which are port or dealer-installed options. The base system, SOA 386R110, is passive only. It does not have a remote transmitter. When the system is on and all the doors are closed, the system arms itself after 25 seconds. The doors do not have to be locked for the system to arm. For the next level of theft deterrent, SOA 386R111, which is added to 110, the theft deterrent system can be actively armed and disarmed using the remote transmitters. It also passively arms itself when all doors are closed. Note that the transmitters only arm and disarm the theft deterrent system. They do not lock or unlock the doors. The highest level of theft deterrent, SOA 386R112, is added to 110 and 111. It provides keyless entry in addition to theft deterrent. The remote transmitters lock and unlock the doors, as well as arming and disarming the theft deterrent system. The base security system for the 1990 to 94 Legacy includes a control module mounted on the steering column and a valet switch LED mounted on the dash to the left of the steering column. The mid-level system, which includes remote arming and disarming of the security system, adds a receiver and remote transmitters to arm and disarm the system. And the high-level system, which includes remote keyless entry, adds a door lock actuator as well as a module. Like the earliest SVX, the 1990 to 94 Legacy systems must be reprogrammed anytime vehicle battery power is lost. When vehicle battery power is restored, the parking lights flash at 1-second intervals to indicate the system is ready to be reprogrammed. To reprogram the system, press button 1 on one transmitter and hold it for 2 seconds. Then button 2, then both buttons simultaneously. Then press button 1 on the other transmitter, then button 2. Be sure to hold each button down for 2 seconds. Pressing the buttons in this sequence fills all 5 memory slots in the theft deterrent control module. Next, the 1995 to 97 LSI. All 1995 to 97 LSIs sold in the U.S. are equipped with a factory-installed theft deterrent system. The system arms itself when the driver exits from the vehicle and locks the doors with a key, or when the driver locks the door with the door lock. The system includes a theft deterrent control module and a security system indicator LED. The LED is on steadily when the system is armed. The 1995 to 97 LSI has a port or dealer-installed optional keyless entry system manufactured by Code Alarm. The Code Alarm control module remembers the frequencies of the transmitters after vehicle battery power has been disconnected. When battery power is restored, it may flash the parking lights to ask whether the transmitters have changed. If it does, press the lock button on the transmitter once to indicate that the transmitters have not changed. To reprogram this system for new transmitters, with the ignition switch on, press and hold the programming button. After 15 seconds, the door locks should cycle, or on some vehicles, the relay will click. Continue pressing the programming button. With your other hand, press the lock button on one of the transmitters twice, then press the lock button on the other transmitter twice. This will fill up the 4 memory slots in the theft deterrent control module with the frequencies of the 2 transmitters. The Code Alarm systems are port or dealer-installed options. The Code Alarm systems are used on the 1995 through 98 Legacy, the 1997 and 98 Impreza, and the 98 Forester. The base system provides keyless entry. Theft Deterrent is an upgrade. There are different kits for different car lines and model years. See the video reference booklet and the Keyless Entry and Vehicle Security Systems Installation Reference Guide for details. The Keyless Entry System Kit has a control module, 2 remote transmitters, and a harness. For the 1997 Impreza, the Keyless Entry System Kit includes a door lock actuator, since the driver's door does not come equipped with an electric actuator. The Security System Upgrade Kit includes a siren, a shock sensor, and additional harnesses. It's an active system. It can be armed only with the transmitters. Installation on the 1997 and 98 Impreza and 98 Forester is much easier because the vehicles are pre-wired for the code alarm system. All you have to do is plug in the connectors. With the 1995 to 1997 Legacy and some 98 Legacies, you will have to splice some wires. We'll demonstrate the procedure. First, begin by installing the remote keyless entry system. Whenever working on a keyless entry system, be sure to lower the driver's side window so you don't accidentally lock the keys in the vehicle. Remove the driver's side rocker kick panel molding and remove the lower left dash trim to access the wiring. Plug the wiring harness into the remote keyless entry module and remove the 20 amp fuse from the yellow wire with a green trace. To connect the module to battery power and switched power, first locate the gray 12-pin connector B52 in the fuse box. In most cases, the keyless entry module's wire colors match the colors of the vehicle's wires that they splice with. But be careful to connect the wires correctly. Mistakes are easy to make, and the system won't work if the connections are wrong. Using one of the red quick splice connectors supplied in the keyless entry kit, connect the module's yellow-green wire to the vehicle's yellow-green wire, which provides constant power. Put the quick splice connector on the module's wire first, using pliers to make sure the connector cuts through the insulation. Then attach the quick splice connector on the vehicle's yellow-green wire, approximately 1 inch from the vehicle connector. Wrap the splice with electrician's tape to secure it. Splice the module's red-black wire to the vehicle's red-black wire, which provides switched power. Note, there are 2 red-black wires. Be sure to splice to the correct one. Next, connect the module's white wire to ground. Use the stud holding the door lock timer on the left side of the steering column. Now connect the module to the parking lights. Locate the gray 15-pin connector I5 in the fuse box. Using a quick splice connector, connect the module's white-yellow wire to the vehicle's white-yellow wire. Now connect the module to the courtesy lights. Locate the black 22-pin connector B36 above the hood lock release lever and unplug it. Splice the module's red-white wire to the vehicle's red-white wire and plug the connector back into the connector block. Now connect the module to the door locks. Locate the 8-pin connector B92 plugged into the door lock timer. Splice the module's white-red wire to the vehicle's white-red wire. Splice the module's white wire to the vehicle's white wire. Locate the 2-pin inline connector D8 below the fuse box. Cut the red-green wire a little more than 1 inch from the connector. Butt splice the red-green wire on the driver's door side of the cut to the module's red-green wire. Make sure the correct wires are butt spliced together, or the keyless entry module or the door lock control module may be damaged, or the door lock fuse may be blown. butt splice the red-green wire on the vehicle interior side of the cut to the module's pink-green wire. Use electrician's tape to secure the butt splices. Attach the label with large lettering to the radiator support and the label with small lettering to the negative battery cable. Now program the module to receive the transmitter frequencies. With the ignition switch on and the engine not running, insert the 20-amp fuse in the holder on the yellow-green wire. With the driver's door open, press and hold the programming button on the wiring harness. After 15 seconds, the door locks will cycle to indicate the system is in the programming mode. Do not release the programming button. Press the lock button twice on one of the transmitters. The door lock actuators will operate each time a button is pressed to confirm programming. Repeat this step for the other transmitter. Then release the programming button and turn the ignition switch off. Now test the remote keyless entry system. See the video reference booklet for details. Next, install the theft deterrent system. Begin by removing both fuses and unplugging the connectors from the keyless entry control module. The electronic controls for the system are already in the module. The additional components are the shock sensor, the siren, the starter interrupt harness, the valet button LED indicator, and the dome lamp loop. Install the siren on the passenger side shock tower using the 10mm bolt. The bell housing should face downward and should not touch any other components. On newer models, the bell housing of the siren may contact the AC line. If it does, carefully reposition the AC line. Be sure to wear appropriate safety equipment when performing this procedure. Tape the ends of the siren wiring harness to prevent damage to the tips when the harness is being installed. Route the siren wires under the brake proportioning valve to the harness grommet on the driver's side bulkhead. Remove the grommet from the access hole and pierce it. Thread the siren wires through the grommet. Poke a hole in the insulation and pass the siren wires through it. Reinstall the grommet. Apply silicone to seal the grommet. Plug the red wire from the siren into the wire side of cavity 2 of the 18-pin keyless entry control module connector and the black wire into cavity 16. Next, install the starter interrupt harness. Unplug the black 6-pin vehicle ignition connector B72 to the right of the steering column and plug the starter interrupt harness into both connectors of the harness. Route the free end of the starter interrupt harness to the keyless entry module and plug the 2-pin connector from the harness into the 2-pin receptacle in the keyless entry module. Secure the harness with tie wraps. Now install the valet button and LED indicator. Using a small screwdriver, remove the dash blank, being careful not to damage the instrument cluster bezel, and install the valet button and LED indicator to the left of the steering wheel. Route the wires to the keyless entry module and plug the wires into the wire end side of the 18-cavity connector. The blue wire goes in cavity 13, the green wire in cavity 14, and the orange wire in cavity 15. Next, unravel the wire to the programming button on the keyless entry harness. Insert the button in the square hole in the metal bracket behind the hood release lever. Use the button housing to secure it. Stick the self-adhesive pad on the back of the shock sensor housing. Attach the shock sensor to the metal bracket on the right side of the steering column. The sensor should be mounted with the side labeled Sensor facing downwards and the harness end pointing toward the rear of the vehicle. Secure the sensor with a tie wrap. Plug the 4-pin shock sensor connector into the 4-pin receptacle on the keyless entry module. Next, remove the 2-pin jumper from the dome lamp loop on the keyless entry harness and discard it. Plug the jumper wire supplied in the kit into both connectors on the harness. Plug the 18-pin and 5-pin connectors into the keyless entry module. With the ignition switch on, insert both 20-amp fuses into the keyless entry harness and turn the ignition switch off. Be sure to do this as the last step before testing the system. Test the system following the procedure in the video reference booklet. Now, mount the keyless entry module with the connectors facing upward in the area above the fuse box and secure it with tie wraps. Finally, put the window decals on the inside of the rear passenger windows at the lower front edge of each window. This concludes the Introduction to Keyless Entry and Theft Deterrent Systems. Be sure to use the Keyless Entry and Vehicle Security Systems Installation Guide and the Video Reference Booklet, and you'll be able to program the SVX 1990 through 94 Legacy and Code Alarm systems and install the Code Alarm systems.